Attention passionate Baltimore Ravens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Baltimore Ravens' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Baltimore Ravens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Baltimore RAVENS fans. Let's get to the news. The buzz around the NFL right now is centered on a potential blockbuster trade that could reshape the AFC North and significantly bolster the Ravens' championship aspirations. According to multiple sources, the Denver Broncos, currently struggling at 5-6 and facing a turbulent season, are eyeing a strategic rebuild. Their defense, which was supposed to be their backbone, has been leaking points at an alarming rate, giving up around 8 points per game, and their cap situation isn't helping either, with only about $10 million in cap space remaining after some recent setbacks. With their secondary in flux and their overall roster needing a fresh start, the Broncos might be looking to deal away one of their most valuable assets, Patrick Surtain II. Now, why would Denver consider parting ways with Surtain, a young, elite cornerback who's been a cornerstone of their defense? Well, it's a mix of cap constraints, positional priorities, and the need to rebuild their offense. Denver's front office is reportedly prioritizing bolstering their offensive line, especially after allowing an average of 3-2 sacks per game, and rebuilding their wide receiver core. They're also eyeing some key additions at edge rusher. Their current cap situation makes it tough to keep all their top players, and they're apparently willing to part with Surtain in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 draft. For the Ravens, this is a golden opportunity. Surtain is a shutdown corner who could immediately elevate their already strong secondary. His ability to shadow top receivers and erase big play threats is exactly what the Ravens need to take their pass defense to the next level. Right now, Baltimore's secondary has been solid but slightly vulnerable, especially after losing some key players to injury or fatigue. With Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey leading the way, adding Surtain would create a nightmare matchup for opposing offenses, especially in the AFC playoff picture. Let's talk a little about Surtain's credentials. Drafted in 2021, he's already established himself as one of the league's premier young cornerbacks. Over his career, he's compiled 180 solo tackles, 50 assists, and 12 interceptions. His PFF grade for this season is a stellar 89.0, and his coverage stats are equally impressive, allowing only 4 yards after catch per reception, with a QB rating against of just 78.4. His ability to blanket receivers and make plays on the ball is undeniable. Last season, he helped the Broncos improve their pass defense by about 15%, and his presence on the field often results in fewer big plays allowed, roughly 10 per game. Surtain's coverage grade is consistently high, and his knack for forcing turnovers and breaking up passes makes him a perfect fit for the Ravens' aggressive defensive scheme. In terms of fit, Surtain would complement Humphrey perfectly. Imagine a secondary where both corners are elite man-to-man defenders, shutting down the top receivers in the league. His presence could result in a significant jump in the Ravens' interception totals, perhaps pushing from 9 to close to 19 in a season, while also reducing the number of explosive plays allowed. His ability to erase opponents' top targets would give the Ravens a much-needed edge in critical moments, especially in the red zone where tight coverage often makes or breaks a game. The potential trade isn't just speculation. It's backed by NFL insiders like Adam Schefter, who mentioned the possibility of elite cornerbacks being available, and others noting that the Broncos are actively rebuilding their roster, especially on offense. The Broncos' focus on retooling their wide receiver group and offensive line suggests they're not just looking to clear cap space, but also to reshape their team identity. They're willing to part ways with some of their defensive assets, and Surtain is at the top of that list. From Baltimore's perspective, acquiring Surtain would be a game changer. It would not only solidify their pass defense, but also send a clear message to the rest of the league. The Ravens are serious about contending for a Super Bowl. With Surtain in the fold, the secondary would be among the best in the league, probably elevating the entire defense by a good margin. This move could also help the Ravens close the gap on teams like the Dolphins, who have been making waves with their aggressive passing attack and big play ability. The addition of a player like Surtain could tilt the odds in Baltimore's favor, especially in high-stakes playoff scenarios where shutdown coverage is often the difference. Looking at the broader picture, the Ravens are currently sitting at 6-5, fighting hard for a playoff spot. Their offense has been productive, but their defense needs that extra boost to become truly elite. Adding Surtain with his proven track record and elite coverage skills would be a massive step toward locking down opponents and turning close games into wins. It's a move that could also influence their draft strategy moving forward, giving them more flexibility in other areas like linebacker or offensive line upgrades. Now, of course, there are skeptics who wonder if the Broncos will actually pull the trigger. Cap space is tight, and they still need to address their offensive line, especially with the pending free agent situation, and find help at wide receiver and edge rusher. Some analysts believe they might decline the trade, preferring to rebuild through free agency or the draft, especially since losing Surtain would be tough to replace immediately. But given the Ravens' strong roster, their deep secondary, and their need for a true lockdown corner, this trade makes a lot of sense for Baltimore. It's a calculated risk that could pay huge dividends in the postseason. From a strategic standpoint, the Ravens could deploy Surtain in a variety of ways, shadowing the opponent's best receiver, playing more man coverage to free up their pass rush, or even mixing in zone to confuse offenses. His ability to disrupt routes and make plays on the ball would add a new dimension to their defense, especially in critical third-down situations. Plus, his experience and composure under pressure are exactly what Baltimore needs to maintain their intensity in the playoffs. Looking ahead, the implications of such a move could be felt for years to come. A corner of Surtain's caliber could help establish Baltimore's defense as a perennial top unit, creating a shutdown identity that opponents dread. This could be the cornerstone move that elevates the Ravens from a solid team into a true Super Bowl contender, especially if they can pair him with their existing stars and develop a cohesive, aggressive defensive scheme. The AFC is stacked, but with Surtain in the fold, Baltimore would have a serious shot at reigning supreme. Talking about odds, the latest Super Bowl futures have shifted slightly, with the Ravens now rising in the betting lines, especially if this trade materializes. From plus 1,500 to plus 900, those are significant jumps, indicating increased confidence in Baltimore's title chances. The Dolphins, after Surtain's departure, could see their odds climb as well, akin to how the Jaguars struggled after losing Ramsey. It's all about creating a dominant secondary that can control the game and force turnovers, and Surtain is the perfect piece to do that. In conclusion, this is a bold, strategic move that could define the Ravens' season and set the tone for years to come. Acquiring Patrick Surtain II would not only address a critical need, but also send a message across the league. Baltimore is back, and they're here to stay as a defensive powerhouse. It's a move that builds a legacy, one of relentless defense, high-pressure coverage, and the pursuit of that elusive Super Bowl title. The fans, the team, and the city are all watching closely because this could be the step that propels Baltimore into a new era of dominance, forever etching their name in NFL history. And now, Baltimore Ravens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and TO, the Baltimore Ravens. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Baltimore Ravens news.